Sean, you're out today with us from Alliance of Limerick, and we're discussing the options around electric vehicles and hybrid cars. And I suppose it'd be nice for us all to get a little bit more information around that. And we've two cars out with us today to test drive, and we'll have a look at those later. Would you mind maybe telling us what are the main differences between, I suppose, electrical, traditional, between petrol as opposed to traditional petrol diesel cars or even a plug-in hybrid car?
Okay. Well, look, you have electric vehicles which are a full battery performance vehicle. So that means you solely rely on whatever battery charge or battery performance you have, whether it's an 80 kilowatt battery that gets you over 500 kilometers or 40 kilowatt battery that gets you 250, 300. If you're looking then at the next step would be a plug-in hybrid, which is a combination of battery and the traditional kind of fuel tank or petrol generator system that you can get. That way then you have the option to plug in and get a range of about 80 to 120 kilometers in our models in BYD in the full electric side. And then you can have peace of mind of having a hybrid petrol system that gets you up to 1,000 kilometers.
Okay, wow.
You then have the hybrid, which is no plug-in, just a self-charging hybrid. Range will drop off a bit on that. You'll get about 50 kilometers on average with some competitors with their hybrid models. And then you've got the reliability of a petrol tank or diesel, whichever suits your needs.
I suppose then, factoring in, we're probably very rural in our nature where we are based. Probably the petrol probably plug-in hybrid probably would be the way to go. Would it be just to have that backup of the assurance of
you get the peace of mind. You get the peace of mind of having the hybrid, because if your daily commute is in and out of a rural town, you can maybe charge at home and get the 40 to 60 kilometers range, and then you have a peace of mind of those long journeys. You're like, right, I can put petrol in. I have the safety of I can go, I can come back. So it's nice to have the option instead of being restricted or just wondering what way to go about things. The computing kind of goes out the window with it.
Yeah,
peace of mind.
And I suppose this is one for myself with the plug-in hybrid. Does it have to be plugged in? Like, can it operate on just petrol fuel?
You can use it as just a petrol system as well.
Okay.
With the BYDs in particular, it's both plug-in but also has self-charging capabilities. So if you're ever driving the car and you're decelerating or braking, you're actually recharging the battery as well. So that's the way they kind of advance their technology, so you get the best of it.
Okay.
So you can charge, self-charge when you're driving, and also put petrol.
I suppose what are kind of savings could drivers expect to get from, as opposed to topping up your petrol or diesel, as opposed to a plug-in hybrid or even fully electric?
Well, based on, say, firstly, tax. So tax on electric vehicles is €120. Tax on hybrids 140. So that's always good. Fuel-wise then, or battery, we'll say charging. If you had an 82 kilowatt battery like our BYD Seal, you are looking at 82 kilowatts to charge the battery. If you're doing your charging at home, the rates can be as low as 10 cents, but 15 cents on average. So that's about 10, 11 euros to fully charge a car. That gets you 570 kilometers. The equivalent in petrol or diesel would probably be about 40, 45 euros. So those long-term benefits you see every time you pop.
Yeah, and I suppose out through the course of the year, you really would see that. Definitely. I suppose then, what sort of servicing costs would something, I suppose it's not your traditional fuel car, I suppose combustion engine car. So what would the servicing costs differ a little bit? Or?
So with the electrics, the service interval is actually every 2 years. So it's every 30,000 kilometers for every 2 years. Maintenance, it's very little. There's less moving parts in electrics. That's the joy of them. So less into the maintenance of it. Your service usually entails a lot of computing work because it is a big computer underneath you when you're driving. So connecting up diagnostics reports, calibrating sensors, air filters, column filters. A lot of what's in a traditional servicing, a bit less hands-on oil changes. They're all gone. So you get a bit longer out of your service intervals.
Okay. I suppose one thing that I've always kind of deter me a little bit from going maybe electric or hybrid is the charging infrastructure of the public, particularly the public charging infrastructure. Is that improving, or is that something that you can see from a sales point of view? Is there more infrastructure uptake?
There has been a big stigma in Ireland, especially when it comes to the infrastructure in Ireland, that they're very selecting where the chargers are, and there's very little amount of chargers at those charging stations. But what you've seen in the last 5 or 6 years is a complete U-turn. You're seeing more and more charging being put into the public network, more availability of getting into home for private. There's grants involved. You get €300 back from the grant with the SEI if you do get the charger installed at home. And also the charging time on these cars is the same as phones, just constant advances in technology. Like charge time at a fast charger for our BYD would be 25 minutes, and all of a sudden you have 400, 500 kilometers of range. When that used to be 2 hours to get to 200 kilometers on previous models from other brands. The advancements are there. You're seeing the uptake of technology. There will be more chargers coming in to the country, and I can imagine they'll make a massive difference on that stigma that follows EVs and charging.
I suppose finally, is there anything that maybe an interested person, if they were to go and if they were interested in buying an EV vehicle, is there anything that they do's and don'ts, or what should they be aware of when they're looking into what they want to buy?
Well, look, when it comes to electrics, what you find is the consumer is quite informed anyway, because you have the availability of any information in your phone, so you can look it up, you can get all your homework done. What we would say to anyone when we're looking at what car suits their needs is we break it down. What's your daily commute? Are you someone that does a journey up and into Dublin every other day? Are you a short commuter that might want peace of mind with the hybrid, so you have long journeys? So we break it down, we see what suits them. And when it comes to that, you know what you're getting. A massive factor is with electrics, if you are looking at electrics, make sure your car has heat pump, because we all have this idea that winter time, summertime driving can affect the battery, and it does. But if your car has a heat pump built in, that helps regulate the temperature of the battery. So if it gets too hot, it cools it down. If it gets too cold, it heats it up. And it gives you an average median range, we'll say, all year round, which gives peace of mind too, because that's a massive factor.
Yeah, that's actually something I wouldn't even consider myself. But yeah, look, thanks a million. Very informative. Learned a lot. Definitely could be convinced maybe down the line. But yeah, thanks a million.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.